What in the world is Gavin Maloof up to right now? The former NBA owner of the Sacramento Kings tells us in a minute. Hello, everyone. I'm Jabari Young, senior writer here at Forbes. And again, in 1 second, I will be talking to Gavin Maloof, the former Sacramento Kings owner, talking about their playoff drought is over. Kings are back in the playoffs. The new Padel League that he's a part of, owning the NHL Golden Knights, and much more. Gavin Maloof right now. Gavin, thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a minute since I heard your name, actually. I can't lie. And when I saw that you were investing in the Pro Padel League, I said, Gavin Maloof, what in the world is he up to? And then I look at the schedule of the NBA. The Kings clinched the playoffs, right? First time in almost 17 years. The last time that the NBA, the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, you and your brother, your family were the owners. What's been going on, man? Let's start there.
Oh, well, a good friend of mine, Henry Strasser from Toronto, called me up one day and say, hey, would you like to be part of this Padel League? And I'm thinking, I said, well, first of all, what is it? And he says, well, it's a Pro Padel League. And I said, oh, it sounds interesting, and it's really kind of taken over the world. It's the fastest growing sport around the globe. It's huge in Mexico, Europe, South America, Spain. And I said, you know what? Let me see. And I took a shot at it, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, listen, you know something about sports ownership, right? So I'm not going to combat that too much. If you believe in the Pro Padel League, I'll believe in it. You know why? Because, listen, when I ask around people colleagues of mine in Sacramento, and I mention your family's name, I get a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the one thing that I hear is they say, you know what? He knows that family, Gav, they know what entertainment is. They know how to bring the crowd out. I watched some highlights of the Padel League. I'm not going to lie. It looked like a steel cage tennis match at first, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what in the world is this? But then I see that it kind of does look fun because the rules are different, right? Right fast, what is the business model behind the Padel League? Why should I or anybody else stop watching Netflix, Disney Plus, or anything like that and pay attention?
Well, first of all, we have recruited 500 of the world's greatest athletes to play the sport. Yeah. So this is the top people and athletes, male and female, in the sport, and they're just great players. It's like a racquetball meets tennis in a smaller court, and it's glassed in, but it's very, very fast. You can see the ball. It's exciting, and I think people will really enjoy it, and they have around the globe. Yeah. There's 28 million people that play and participate in the sport.
Let's take a step back right fast, man. And listen, congrats on the investment, right? For viewers, you purchased the Las Vegas franchise in the Padel League, and that's another acquisition for you. You have minority ownership in the NHL Golden Knights and what have you. But when people know the Maloofs, they're going to think about one franchise. Again, the Kings just clinched the NBA postseason for the first time in nearly a decade or 2 decades. What was the emotion like when that happened? Because, again, you and your family, you guys have had a lot of emotional ties to that franchise. Was it good to see?
Oh, yes. Incredible. I'm happy for the fans. I'm happy for the community. We still have a lot of friends in Sacramento. We had a lot of great years. We had some battles with the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. And so, we really enjoyed ourselves. But you have to move on. So we turn the chapter, and we look back every now and then. I don't look back too much. I'm always looking forward, but I'm excited about the years ahead with this. And then even the Golden Knights, we're number 1 in the Western Conference, and I think we got another good shot at a title. Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Golden Knights have had its own success. But before we move ahead, right, stay with me in the past right fast. I want to flash back. 1998 is when you guys purchased the Kings, $37.5 million, 24%. It ended up being a $230 million deal plus that you paid for that franchise, and you flipped it for $500+ million, so you did make a profit. When you think about the ownership, 14 years you owned that franchise, you look at where NBA valuations are today. Do you kick yourself saying, man, maybe we should have held on to it a little longer?
Well, you can always look back. But at the time, it was the highest price ever paid or sold for an NBA franchise. So, you can always look back. You can always question this. But again, like I say, I always move forward. because that's just the way you got to, it's water under the bridge. I'm happy for them. I hope they win the whole thing. I'm excited because it has been 16 years. It's been a long drought since they've been in the playoffs. So, eventually a team's got to make the playoff.
Yeah. A friend of mine said, now that they've clinched the playoffs again for the first time, and my editor said, man, they've clinched the playoffs for the first time since electricity was invented, right? That made me laugh. But you can laugh too, Gavin. You can laugh too. The one thing is, he said, a colleague of mine, that now that the Kings are back in it, maybe the Maloofs, their era, people will completely forget about it, right? I've pushed back against that because, listen, when you think about the Kings, and I'm from Philadelphia, Gavin, White Chocolate, Jason Williams, he was talked about in barbershops across the United States, right? Chris Webber, Pedro Stojakovic, Ron Artest, they had some great moments. People forget because they haven't been relevant in a long time in the NBA, but you guys were the owners. Do you miss the celebrity? Do you miss the popularity that came with when you were at the height of being an NBA owner?
Well, we had a great time. When you're winning, it's fun. Yeah. When you're losing, it's not so fun. But we had a great time. We had great players, Mike Bibby, and they're all still, kind of friends of ours to this day. Ron Artest comes to my sister's parties, and we really, really enjoy him. And I'm really close to Mike Bibby and Peja and Vladi, and we had a heck of a team. We were this close to winning it all. If we got past the Lakers, then we were going to beat the Nets. That would have been the finals, but we'd have swept the Nets.
You say it with such ease. We would have beat the Nets. We know that. The Nets were stacked that year. What makes you so confident y'all would have beat the Nets?
Well, we were going to beat the Nets because they were no good. we were the best team in the league at that time. Yeah. At that time, our team was better than the Lakers. We had a couple of bad calls go against us, but you can't look at that. But really, the Nets weren't a factor. We would have swept them. No question in my mind. Yeah. But but it was fun. It was great. And I've had a tremendous life. I have no regrets. We've won the Rockets. We went to the finals with the Rockets.
And that's the year you couldn't get into the locker room, right? You were trying to get into the locker room to celebrate, and the security guard wouldn't let you in because you did not have a pass. What do you remember about that moment? What do you remember about owning the Rockets? Because if people forget your family owned it.
I can tell you, I was 24, still the youngest owner ever in professional sports. Yeah. At 24. Well, my dad had just passed away. So we played the Lakers as a 2-out-of-3 mini series. We split 1-1. I was in Los Angeles. I was in the stands, and we won the game. I run down to the court. The security guard stops me. She says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the locker room to see my players." She said, "Well, you can't get back there." I said, "Well, why not?" She said, "Well, because you can't get back there. It's security. It's walled off, and you can't get back." I said, "Well, hey, listen, I'm the owner." She says, "Yeah, and I'm the president. Get out of here." And she kicked me out of the building. So I never did get back into the locker room. But, back then, NBA was big. Yeah. But it wasn't like today. I mean, it was just coming a little bit. It was just on a roll. But it was kind of funny. She kicked me out of the building and never got back in.
Yeah.